Seeing into the future live. This is Rackspace's continuing coverage of TechCrunch Disrupt 2013. Now here's Robert Coleman.
Hey, I'm Robert Scoble, and we're here at TechCrunch Disrupt 2013, meeting a whole bunch of innovators. We've set up a whole bunch of interviews with people building innovative things in the wearable space and talking about the future of the world, the contextual future of the world. And today we have a special guest called NZN Labs.
There you go.
Which does a really cool sports activity monitor that we're going to hear all about right now. So, who are you?
I'm Richard Zinn, and I'm the CTO and a co-founder of the company.
Very cool. And who are you?
I'm Michael Ford. I'm also co-founder with Richard, and I'm the president of the company.
Yeah, so tell me what you guys are doing.
Yeah, so LIT is a 24/7 activity tracker focused on people that love to participate in action-oriented sports. So surfing, snowboarding, mountain biking, those types of sports. What we found was that there's a lot of great products that have been introduced in the activity tracker segment, the Fuel Band, the Fitbit, et cetera. They really got people interested in wearable tech, and for a sector of kind of the wellness side of it, they've done really, really well at getting people active.
Yeah.
But for folks that are already active, we find that they just don't use the product as much as we think there's an opportunity to. And so what happens is you participate in sports that aren't tracked with steps or with kind of traditional pedometer type capabilities, and then you'll have a miss that you do of an epic mountain biking session or surfing session. You go back and sync your data, and it just doesn't at all, it's not consistent with that feeling that you have that you had a really, really active session doing the sport that you love the most.
Yeah.
So the running that you do to prepare for it, the swimming that you do to prepare for it, that probably got tracked pretty well, but the time that you actually get to the mountain to go snowboarding the 6 times a year that you do, the things that you want to track the most, because those are like the ethos of you as an athlete, the existing products miss that. And so with LIT, we're really focused on contextualizing more than step-based activities. And to do that, we have to understand obviously steps and strokes and paddles and those types of core activities, but also jumps and G-forces and rotations and spins and all the things that make more action-oriented sports really fun and really exciting for people to participate in.
We should cover, this is not coming out until later this year, right?
Correct, yeah. We're shipping to an early group of beta participants in November, and then we'll be preparing for a commercial launch in retail, et cetera, in the early spring this year.
Very cool. So next year, it's about 6 months away.
Exactly.
And it's going to cost around $100?
Yep, the target price right now is $99, depending on how many features we add and what tech we need in that package.
And it's going to be in a package that you wear on the wrist?
Yeah, so this is just prototyping. So we wear this all the time as we're gathering our own data and doing our own activities, doing testing. Richard's got some stories on the testing here. Yeah. And this is just kind of a protective package and protects it from static electricity, but it'll be a wrist form factor that's modular. Totally waterproof to 110 meters, et cetera, so that it's intended for the sports that action sports athletes participate in and people that love these sports participate in. But it can be worn on the wrist in like a wristwatch type device, or you can take the module out and stick it in your pocket, or there's a wide variety of modalities.
I'm starting to call this range of things the personal cloud, because you're going to wear soon shirts that have sensors in them, shoes that are going to have sensors in them, things on your wrist that have sensors, things on your face that have sensors, right?
Right, exactly.
And I call it, all these things are going to hook together through low energy Bluetooth, right?
Exactly.
You probably have a Bluetooth radio on here, right?
I do, yep. So we're using BLE that talks to the smartphone, and that's the primary communication method. We'll leverage then the GPS and other tech that the phone has, and it keeps us with a longer battery life on the device itself.
Yeah, and this is designed to be broken away from the phone, because if you're going scuba diving, or surfing, you don't want to take your phone out there, right?
Yeah, it's completely independent. And so one of our key design tenets is to make it totally passive. So you never have to actively do anything to the device. It's always tracking your activity. 200 times a second, we look at what activity you're doing, classify it, and then group those together in an active session. And so you could just go about your day, go about your week. When you're ready to open up the LIT app and sync, it will actually read all the data, contextualize it into distinct sessions, and then provide the highlights, the most exciting things that you did that can push into your social connection, whether it's Facebook or Path, et cetera. So.
We should talk about what it's really doing, because you're one of the few people who is trying to contextualize what I'm doing. In other words, sense whether I'm skiing or running or surfing or
no,
walking
exactly.
or
Do you
whatnot,
want to cover
right?
that?
Yeah, so
Can you tell us how you do that? Because that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, so the technology we wanted to build was something that you could just put it on, forget about it, and it's going to, like Michael said, track everything you did during the day. And So what it does down at the base level is like 200 times a second. We're monitoring the sensors. We're looking for the markers that we have where we've trained. We use machine learning to train the system on what an activity type is, or what the data looks for that type of activity, what the profile is, and then in those types of activities we contextualize it, and the algorithm actually adapts to like what should be the most important activity to track, or if it's airtime, or if it's paddles, or if it's something else.
Can you easily update it to do more as you figure out more ways to contextualize? Because you guys can test 7 contexts right now?
Yeah, right now we're at 6 key activity types that
what
we
are
can
they,
contextualize. It's surf, skate, snow, and that's snowboarding, snow skiing, moto, and mountain biking and BMX.
Oh, very cool. So you can't really tell what would be a context you can't tell,
Like parkour would be great. We get all kinds of emails about doing parkour or doing wakeboarding. We actually went out and did our first wakeboarding session with some friends down in the Carlsbad Lagoon. But it didn't, and we can do it. We know we can do it. We saw the data, we can do it, but it takes manpower, and it takes this significant amount of effort. We have regression tests that we run every single time we do a new session. And so
you're watching the pattern. So if I'm on a mountain bike, I'm shaking like this.
Yeah.
You know that pattern is probably on a mountain bike or on a bike of some kind.
And we look at also how you move, how you turn.
Yeah.
So we're looking at everything, including like we recreate your motion into a 3D vector, and then we map that over time, and a lot based on that, based on where it's being worn and what we see in the data, we create a contextualization.
Yeah. The other element I think of that's really important is everybody's styles are different. So I might be a very different mountain biker than Richard, and we built the tech package so that it interprets what you're doing and creates a feedback loop, so that my mountain biking session, I confirm that. By confirming that, it retrains the algorithms that, okay, this is Michael doing mountain biking, and so it doesn't interpret me as motocross, for instance.
You guys are just watching the sensor data, right?
Correct.
Whether I'm shaking or turning or whatever, or undergoing big G,
G moments,
G moments. You're not hooking up, so Google is looking at context the other way, which is looking at your calendar. Oh, he's in a meeting. We probably think that's a meeting context, right?
Right.
And then we'll verify it by, are you looking at 2 eyes? Something like that, right?
That's really, that's cool.
Right? Or
we're doing it the opposite direction. We're coming at it the other way.
Totally through the sensor. Are you thinking of how to use, your sensor-based context and then hook it up to the Gmail and the other context that you're going to get off of our pattern in life?
Yeah, we wanted to, and the pattern in life is like people are creatures of habit, and we really rely on that with our personalized contextualization engine. Yeah. So, so people do the same. They tend to do the same kinds of activities, and that helps our algorithms out a lot.
Because like Google's going to know I'm going to enter the Beta Breakers race, right? Because I did a search.
And
Beta Breakers, found the website, clicked on the website, and then I bought a ticket. The ticket got emailed to me in email. And
Google
Gmail.
knows so much about.
They know everything, right?
They know everything about what you're doing, and that's a different kind of contextualization. But we do take hints from different things, like your GPS. Our core experience doesn't require GPS, but when you have it on, when you're tracking something that works really well with GPS, like snowboarding does, a lot of people use it there. Mountain biking does, bicycling, a lot of those do. Many don't, so we didn't want to make that a core requirement to the experience. But when you do, we take hints from that and other stuff that we can find.
Where I'm going with that is, I think in five years or so, we're going to be wearing a lot of devices, not just Google Glass and a Nike.
Thank you, because we agree.
Right? But we might have 2 or 3 different contextualizers that are contextualizing based on different data
calendar
points,
based,
right?
motion based.
Like I might have a Google's going to have a contextual OS at some point in the glass, and then I'm going to wear your thing on my wrist or here, and it's going to add
we're seeing high G moments, you must be motocross. And by the way, your calendar didn't say that, you must have sneaked out to go do motocross for the afternoon.
You're going to all know when I'm having sex. That's all.
We won't talk about that.
High G moments,
so,
right?
Yeah, exactly. Let's hope they're high G moments.
So. We know everything.
Which gets to privacy, right? Because people are like, what? Wait a second. Oh, you could tell I am having sex because a certain pattern in life. We can figure that out, right?
If we can help your sex life, there's no better sales than that. So.
But what's your company approach to privacy? Because you're going to know I'm doing certain things at certain times. maybe my boss isn't supposed to know I'm surfing today, right?
Google has to worry about privacy. We fortunately, we're not at the point where we have to worry about privacy yet, but we will.
You're only holding the data here on the hardware. Right. Are you putting it on the cloud anywhere? Are you
doing
we do.
Anything? Yeah, I mean, in fact, the entire contextualization happens on the cloud where we can we have the bandwidth and the CPU power to take advantage of all the hints that we get from everything. Yeah. And we'd love to connect with Google's APIs when they have that part ready. Yeah. It'll make everything we're doing smarter.
Yeah. Right now, are you yet another data silo then? Because one thing that's a problem in this personal cloud industry is the Nike doesn't talk to this fatigue science thing. Yeah. This thing doesn't talk to the Bassett watch, and the Bassett watch doesn't talk to the Jawbone, and the Jawbone doesn't talk to this, and the GoPro cameras I'm using don't talk to anything. Yeah. So,
we're not ready to make a official company statement, but we don't want to be a silo.
No, but you guys are innovators, and you're going to be around for a decade.
Thank you.
And this whole industry is going to be built over the next five or so years, right? So the way you guys think will tell me how the industry will evolve. If you're all into
we think
the data.
It can't be a silo. It won't work if everybody's a silo. So we have to break out of that, and we put infrastructure in place to be able to do that. And the time isn't quite right yet, but we have inquiries all the time, and we're starting to look at them. Yeah. I'm going to show you the app.
Yeah, let's see the app.
The app is, we've taken a lot of people have been exploring and investing in building these kinds of apps. So up at the top we have the score that you got for the day, and we have some markers in there, when you've done something really cool, it'll show up in there.
I can't see. Oh, I can't. Sorry, he was in the way. Sorry. I just want to make sure you were up on stage.
So the other thing, though, that was really important to our audience and to us was to bring the feed right into the main screen. So this is the main screen. Nothing's more important than how you're doing today, how you're doing towards your goal, and then your feed. How did my buddy do? How did I do? So we can scroll here through the feed, and we have the different types of activities that we don't. Sometimes it's just sleeping, sometimes it's walking, but here was last Friday when we were doing the wakeboarding session at the lagoon. Here was a run Michael did.
That was a short one.
There's another wakeboarding session. Here's a mountain biking session. Yeah. And
by the way, several of my friends are wearing 5 of these devices, and they're all giving different readings.
Very true.
How do we know which one's accurate? Are you guys studying to make sure that the accuracy levels up there?
We're normally I'm wearing a Shine right now because I just got it, but we're always kind of testing, what is most accurate relative to, for us, it's really the spirit of how you feel after you participate. We're not just tracking running and walking, we're tracking these kind of epic sports that you do. Yeah. And so are we consistent? Is the score consistent? Are the metrics consistent with that feeling that you have when you're done? Yeah. And I think, it's kind of subjective, but until we have more of a consistent level playing field on some of the data, it's really matching that essence with the consumer. So,
have you found the best place on the body to actually study these kinds of patterns? Is it on your head? Because your head is very steady cammed and very, your body wants to protect your head from wacky stuff, right? Where on my arms, I'm flailing in the surf and stuff like that.
Yeah. So there's it depends on the sport. So for every sport, we have a recommended place to wear it, and we do a lot of our tracking on the hip. So we want people to put it in their pocket and wear it like that because it's really easy and it fits most of the sports. But other sports, it's really better to wear it on your wrist, like surfing. And it depends on what you want to track.
So you can study the paddles.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. When you see a signature for a really good surf session, you'll be amazed at the kind of data that you see. But